The Pro Football Preseason Flyaway promotion is courtesy of KITV4 Island Television.
Oh, check this guy out.
Oh my God, so cute.
What's he wearing?
Aww.
Wait, what's going on here?
Oh, that guy is pretty cool.
And smart. Got a Fujitsu and a dog?
We love our Fujitsu.
Imagine a good morning spent with friends. What's better than that?
Imagine starting the day off with everything you need. Your first news, weather, and traffic when you want it.
Imagine knowing what's coming next in the day ahead. Well, I get to live this each morning together with you. Imagine that. And that's what makes it such a good morning, America.
And here in Hawaii, the day starts bright because we share them with you on KITV4 Island News. Good morning, Hawaii.
Hi, hon.
Grandma gave us her old couch.
Uh-oh, found something.
They're back. Call Environ Control. For everything you see, there's many others hiding. Environ Control has the solution. Click or call to schedule a free estimate today. Take back your home again. Environ Control.
Our daughter was diagnosed with scoliosis.
Lakari's right leg was shorter than the left.
Her issues were so rare.
I wanted the best treatment for my child's exact condition.
That's why we chose Shriners Hospitals for Children. They're leaders in research.
They develop advanced procedures.
Shriners Hospitals has some of the most innovative doctors in the world.
And they put all their expertise, all their love into treating my child.
Shriners Hospitals for Children. The most amazing care anywhere.
Now, from KITV4 Island News, this is Good Morning Hawaii.
Coming up on Good Morning Hawaii, the alarming trend on the Valley Isle, how Maui police are combating a major rise in DUI crashes.
Plus, questions remain this after an Oahu 7-month-old died in the care of her babysitter. Why a common over-the-counter medication may have played a role.
And if you remember seeing the full moon out last week, well, now that means you might need to watch out for some box jellyfish. Mackenzie Stasko live for us this morning to explain what to look out for so your day at the beach isn't ruined. Good morning, Hawaii. It's July 24th, 2019.
That's right. Before we get to those top stories, we'll then send it over to our weather and traffic with our Tasia Worley. Tasia, how's it shaping up?
Well, we have trade winds to get us over the hump for the remaining of the week. We see that for the forecast, it's going to continue pretty steady, about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Today, possible up to 25. We are already seeing double digits for Lihue at about 10. Kaneohe fluctuating between 7 and 13 within the last half an hour. Temperature highs already 80 degrees for Lihue. We're expecting up to 92 for Kahului, 90 for Honolulu. So another very warm day ahead, especially with the sunny skies we're expecting, especially from Oahu throughout Hawaii Island. Now, Kauai is still very close to that disturbance. It could give pockets of clouds throughout the day, but overall improving conditions for the western half of the state. Nice and sunny and breezy for a long stretch of time. With our trade winds, we are just dealing with those trade showers. Focus over the Ko'olaus for our Oahu, more so for the Hana district of our Maui Island, and for Hawaii Island coming in for the East Point later in the afternoon, shifting to the leeward slopes. Surface still up for the east a bit, 3 to 5, 2 to 4 for the south. A small craft advisory in place Maui throughout Hawaii Island, about 25 knots. We've got high tide just shy of 11 o'clock this morning in box jellyfish now till Saturday. Your Wednesday forecast is showing sunrise at 6:02, sunset at 7:15, and your daytime highs 86 to 91, and for the weekend, breezy and sunny. Here's a look outside on the roads. Nanakuli today, Hawaiian Electric will be replacing a utility pole in the right Makaha-bound lane. This is from 8:30 to 2:30, so right around after work as you are making your way into Nanakuli. So that's going to take up again one right Makaha-bound lane, Princess Kahanu Avenue through Lualei Place. We are seeing some congestion in that area already in the eastbound direction. Also an accident involving an OTS bus. This is at Middle Street, right at that H1 exit. Coming in from Waikele, clear conditions, zipper lane open all the way through. Your drive times from the west side, about an hour and 10 minutes. 17 from Hawaii Kai through town and Eva Beach, just at half an hour. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Tasia. Well, we want to turn now to the big news of the day here. The highly anticipated testimony of former special counsel Robert Mueller happening right now. You see there on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. Time now there in D.C. about 11 o'clock in the morning. And lawmakers have been grilling him for about 2.5 hours now. The topic at hand, the nearly 2-year-long investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election.
And right now, let's listen into the testimony that's happening right now over in D.C.
Credibility once Cohen began cooperating.
I believe that's accurate.
Okay, and in my view, if anyone else in America engaged in these actions, they would have been charged with witness tampering. We must enforce the principle in Congress that you emphasize so well in the very last sentence of your report, which is that in America, no person is so high as to be above the law. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just recently, Mr. Mueller, you said Mr. Liu was asking you questions. And Mr. Liu's question, I quote, "The reason you didn't indict the president is because of the OLC opinion." And you answered, "That is correct." But that is not what you said in the report, and it's not what you told Attorney General Barr. And in fact, in a joint statement that you released with DOJ on May 29th, after your press conference, your office issued a joint statement with the Department of Justice that said, "The Attorney General has previously stated that the special counsel repeatedly affirmed that he was not saying that but for the OLC opinion, he would have found
now,
the
that opinion that you hear her talking about, that was the question in that Mueller report, whether Donald Trump could actually be charged. That was the opinion that said because he is currently the president, he can't. But as we've heard the last couple hours, they've been asking Robert Mueller, they asked him, well, you know, if he weren't in office, could he be charged? And the answer that we're hearing is yes. So it looks like they're trying to clarify that a little bit more. Certainly a lot of interesting things happening there in D.C.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll be tuning in live to that all morning long with the very latest. And that testimony does continue on Capitol Hill throughout the morning. So make sure you do stay with KITV4 on air and also online as we bring you more on Mueller's testimony.
All right, switching gears back here to Hawaii. If you're heading out to the beach, you might want to watch out for box jellyfish.
Yeah, and KITV4's Mackenzie Stasko live in Waikiki this morning with more on where you might see them and for how long. Good morning, Mackenzie.
Yeah, Lindsay, Tom, good morning. As Tasia mentioned, box jellyfish could be on the way. They typically appear between 8 and 10 days after a full moon, which we experienced last week. And as Tasia mentioned, we could see box jellies across all shores. However, the south-facing and east-facing shores are more susceptible. Now, if you've never seen one or if you've never gotten stung, take a look at this video. This is from one of the last box jellyfish swarms here in Waikiki. They're clear and sometimes tough to see in the water. And back on Memorial Day, over Memorial Day weekend, about 1,000 people were stung by box jellyfish. Lifeguards there counted about 5,000 washed up along the shore, again, here in the Waikiki area. We also saw box jellyfish stings at Ala Moana, all the way up on the North Shore as well at Waimea Bay. And if you do get stung, experts suggest rinsing jellyfish stings with vinegar and then applying heat to that area. And of course, if you do get stung as well, make sure you head to one of the lifeguard stands. For now, we'll send it back to you inside.
On Oahu, an 8-year-old boy was rescued after falling 15 feet off a ledge on Manoa Falls Trail. Paramedics say he landed on rocks and was taken to the hospital in serious condition. And that incident happened around 10:15 Tuesday morning as the boy was hiking with his family.
All right, and take a look at your screen right there. Honolulu police are looking for this guy you see. He's suspected of breaking into and robbing a home on Clio Street in Makiki. This incident happened on June 15th at around 6 o'clock in the morning. Anyone with information asked to call Crime Stoppers. The number there, 955-8300.
Well, the Coast Guard offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of this man. Now, he is accused of firing a gun at a driver at the intersection of Kaolu Street and Alawai Boulevard in Waikiki. Now, the incident happened on July 30th of last year, and a member of the Coast Guard witnessed the incident. The suspect was driving a white Toyota Camry with tinted windows and a Hawaii license plate. Now, he is described as being in his 20s with sandy-colored hair and noticeable acne or acne scars on his face. And he was wearing spike-style gauge earrings on both ears. So anyone with information is asked to call the Coast Guard Investigative Service at 306-3543.
And we are continuing to follow the death of 7-month-old Abigail Lobish, who died while in the care of her babysitter on the Aliamanu military reservation back in February. It's still unclear how a heavy amount of Benadryl was found in her system. Medical professional Dr. Paul Aiken with Kapiolani Medical Center says whether taken orally or topically, infants are at a much higher risk of fatal side effects.
So it is theoretically possible to be overdosed by inappropriate application of these ointments. Benadryl is a medicine that we don't frequently use or use with great caution in children younger than even 2 years of age.
Now, Dr. Aiken says some side effects of Benadryl include seizures, irregular heartbeats, mental status changes, and more. He emphasizes the importance of consulting your pediatrician before use.
Maui police are worried there could be a record number of traffic deaths this year. So far, 14 people died on Maui's roads compared to 18 at this time last year. And a mother and son are the latest victims killed by a suspected drunk driver in Kihei. Police say alcohol and drugs played a factor in more than half of this year's crashes alone. Officers are asking for the public's kokua, and they want people to look out for erratic drivers and help loved ones make better choices.
They weren't drinking alone. They're not hiding in a corner drinking and then deciding to go drive. They're out with somebody else who could have taken the keys from them.
This year, Maui police have set up 73 DUI checkpoints on the Valley Isle, and they also plan to continue random screenings as well.
And Maui police arrested an 18-year-old man who says he accidentally started a brush fire in South Kihei while smoking marijuana. Trevor Osborne Senatori told police embers from his pipe ignited a fire and it spread too fast for him to put it out. He's been released pending further investigation. The fire burned about 80 acres of land.
Well, time now 5:10, and still to come, we're following former special counsel's testimony all morning long on air and on Good Morning Hawaii as well.
Yeah, busy morning. Plus, a prince teaming up with the real-life inspiration behind Jane from Tarzan, and it's all to save the planet. Our morning shakas are coming up next on Good Morning Hawaii. Stay with us.
The signs are everywhere. Charles in Waipahu saved over $390. Lucette in Honolulu saved over $450. Call 92-DIETRICH and save.
Do you love the San Francisco Giants?
And how does this sound? You could sit in the owner's seats at AT&T Park in San Francisco.
That's a home run.
Giants at Dave & Buster's on Friday, September 6th at 4. And enter for a chance to win 2 VIP tickets, hotel and air on Alaska Airlines. Go to the best place to watch the games and play the games at Dave & Buster's for a chance to win. Sponsored by CBS Sports Radio, Alaska Airlines, and Dave & Buster's.
When do my credit card points expire?
How many miles do I have?
When are the blackout dates again?
Do we get 1% or 2% on groceries?
Stop wondering. Get the new 2% unlimited cashback card. That's 2% on purchases everywhere, every time. From American Savings Bank. Real life, real answers.
5914777. 5914777. Who's got the best deals in Vegas around? Who's got the best deals? Call 5914777 today. Vacations Hawaii. Vacations Hawaii. Vacations Hawaii. Good luck, we go play. We gon' play
Oh, Hawaii self-storage. Oh, Hawaii self-storage. Box 'em, pack 'em, store 'em, lock 'em.
.513 on this beach day. Although we are dealing with an influx of box jellyfish, definitely be on the lookout for that. We can't avoid the good weather that we're getting across the state. Higher probabilities of box jellyfish today through Friday, lingering around your Saturday. So just a heads up for that, more so for those south and east facing shores, which is where we are seeing the bump, but safer sides, and also for the Keiki. For the north, flat to 2, 1 to 3 for the west. We still have that small craft advisory in place because of our winds for Maui and Hawaii Island. High tide just before 11 o'clock this morning. We're still dealing with partly cloudy conditions for our Kauai, and then mostly sunny skies across Oahu and Maui County. Hawaii Island will be partly cloudy throughout the day, more so for those mountain spots, but we'll see a lot of sunshine throughout the day. Breezier conditions picking up even more so by tomorrow. Here's a look outside of the roads. In Waianae, we do have lane closures near Kaena Point, southbound 830 to 230. So just a heads up there if you are heading to Yokes. We are seeing some congestion around Fort Weaver and Kulawaka, but no major accidents or stalls. Public contraflow is open. And if you're coming in from the east side, Hawaii Kai through Honolulu, 17 minutes. Waianae through Honolulu, 71. Ewa Beach through town, 30. Again, from Ewa Beach, Fort Weaver and Kulawaka is looking light through Fort Weaver. And as you do make your way closer to the freeway, we are seeing some congestion build up already through Waikele, but it does pick up speed around the H1, H2 split throughout Waimalu. Over to you.
All right, you know what that sound is. Time to throw out some morning shakas, and today they're going out to Prince Harry and legendary animal environmental conservationist Jane Goodall.
That's right. The two, they teamed up over their passion for protecting the environment.
That's right. The pair met with kids from around the world yesterday to raise awareness about climate change. The meeting was for the Roots and Shoots organization, which Dr. Goodall founded decades ago in Tanzania. It focuses on bringing together students in preschool through college to work on everything from environmental and humanitarian issues to conservation. It's right in line with Prince Harry's own thinking, who recently said, quote, "Every choice, every footprint, every action makes a difference." Is there anything that they can't do? Wow.
No, there's pretty much not. Right. Well, astronauts will soon be able to play with some slime in outer space.
Why not?
Sounds like fun. Today, a SpaceX Dragon capsule expected to launch official Nickelodeon slime to the International Space Station. Now, it's a chance for the world to see how slime moves in microgravity. And thousands of other experiments will also be delivered. And the material it will be used to develop a curriculum for young students.
The astronauts just want to play with the slime. That's what that's about.
They just want to play too.
Yeah, all right. Well, calling all farmers, you can now apply for community farming parcels over on Maui. Mahipono, which bought former sugarcane land on Maui, is offering 2, 5, or even 10-acre parcels along Maui Veterans Highway and Pu'unene. The goal is to boost local food production. Now, the lease rates are $150 per acre per year. Each parcel has access to irrigation, windbreaks, and fencing. Leases for other plots will be released in the future. For more information on how to apply, visit our website at kitv.com. Maybe we should just quit our jobs and just become farmers in Maui. That'd be a lot of fun.
All right, good times there. Well, it is an A-list lineup, including Brad Pitt, Leo DiCaprio, and Mike Moe from Wisconsin.
Who's that?
I don't know. The martial arts teacher making his big screen debut as the legendary Bruce Lee.
Plus, Quentin taking us back to Hollywood in the late 60s with his new movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The latest from Hollywood coming up next.
Every Thursday morning on KSSK, it's Vegas Thursday. Win a Vacations Hawaii Vegas vacation. Michael W. Perry might send you to the 9th Island. Listen to KSSK between 7:30 and 8 for your chance to win.
You know, you don't need to wait on the sun to say good morning, Hawaii.
Lots of people are up before dawn, and we are too.
Join Good Morning Hawaii weekdays at 4:30 in the morning to get an early start on everything you need for your day.
It's the Honda Summer Spectacular event. That means more euphoric feelings that come from getting a great deal on a Honda CR-V or HR-V. Or from getting a Pilot or Passport. All part of 2019's best SUV brand. Hurry in today and experience the joy for yourself.
Get a great deal on the Honda CR-V, part of 2019's best SUV brand, at the Honda Summer Spectacular event.
Organize the office and go from cluttered to coordinated. How about a chair? Come take a few for a test drive. Find that perfect pen and make writing fun again. Crayons, paper, and paint for the kids. And the kids at heart. Backpacks from $7.95. Composition books and Crayola crayons, only 49 cents. Fisher Hawaii, bringing you more.
Being diagnosed with any type of lung cancer or mesothelioma caused by asbestos exposure in the workplace is a devastating thing. That's where the Hawaii Personal Injury Law Firm of Gallagher, DeRobertis, and Waxman can help. Call for more information and a free case review.
I used to have to go in to the auto parts store. Paid too much, never find quite what I'm looking for. Now I just go online to Rock Auto and see all the parts my car will ever need. Lower prices, more parts, more brands. It's so easy to find the right parts fast. All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto. All the parts your car will ever need. RockAuto.com.
Only CMA Fest has country's biggest stars performing their hottest hits. And the first time ever, Lil Nas X, Billy Ray Cyrus, and Keith Urban perform the hit Old Town Road. CMA Fest! Sunday, August 4th on ABC.
Time now is 5:19. A beautiful sunrise yesterday caught by Steve. Mahalo for that. And that was due to a lot of the cloud covers that we had due to that disturbance that is now moving even further toward the northwest. So now instability will still be possible for Kauai County. So more so those rain chances today, partly cloudy throughout your midday, and then sunny conditions rolling on in. Mostly sunny elsewhere. We'll take it island by island. Kauai continuing to see those trade winds 10 to 25 miles per hour with morning showers. Oahu showers over the Ko'olaus, typical with that trade wind weather. We're expecting up to 90 degrees, up to 92 for Kahului, but averaging around 90 for the central part of Maui throughout the day. And Hawaii Island, just partly cloudy conditions rolling in around your afternoon for the leeward slopes and also for the Hilo Hawaii mountaintops as well. But we're not expecting a lot of rain for today. So for the east, 3 to 5 and 2 to 4 for the south. Here's a look at your traffic. There are reports of an accident in Moanalua. This is at Bougainville Drive near the NEX, so just a heads up there. That accident on Middle has been cleared. We do have alternating lane closures on the airport off-ramp today from the H1 westbound direction, 8:30 to 1. So just a heads up if you're heading to the airport today, definitely want to plan for that. Makalapa Gates is looking clear for this Wednesday commute. We had some congestion as well coming in from Ewa Beach right before you jump onto the freeway. That has just cleared up, but we do have slowdowns from Waikele throughout the H1, H2 merge. Throughout Waimalu, we start to pick up some speed. Ka'ahumanu, moderate traffic. Your alternate route on Kamehameha Highway is clear. Also on Farrington, where we did have that water main break by Waipahu Depot Road, that has been cleared, so that could also be used as an alternate throughout the day. Here's a look at your drive times on your screen. We'll be right back.
In today's Tech Bites, big tech companies under investigation.
The Department of Justice is investigating whether companies violated the law by harming their competitors. The government did not mention any companies by name, but Google, Facebook, and Amazon are among the likely targets. And Facebook could settle disputes with 2 government agencies today.
The settlements would end disputes with the Federal Trade Commission as well as the Securities and Exchange Commission. Both agencies have been looking into Facebook's privacy practices Both settlements are expected to include significant fines. And UPS is looking to make drone deliveries to U.S. hospitals.
The proposed service would focus on urgent parcels, starting with lab tests. The company has already developed a truck with a drone launch pad. It has tested the service with blood deliveries in parts of Rwanda.
Sounds like a good service there.
Absolutely. Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Introducing Color Snap Color ID from Sherwin-Williams. Color palettes curated just for you.
Stop dancing around the pain that keeps you up again and again. Advil PM silences pain, and you sleep the whole night. Advil PM.
This summer at Panera, we're going all in on strawberries. At their reddest, ripest, they make everything better. Like our strawberry poppy seed salad and new strawberry summer caprese salad. Strawberry season is here. Panera, food as it should be.
Oh, wow. What kind of underwear are those?
They're breathable underwear from Fruit of the Loom.
Wait, Fruit of the Loom makes breathable underwear?
Yeah, they have tiny holes to let the air through, but...
Yes! I love them.
Stay cool with breathable underwear from Fruit of the Loom.
The Queen's Medical Center, Hawaii's healthcare leader for 160 years.
In 1859, King Kamehameha IV and Queen Emma were inspired to build a hospital for the sick. Today, Queens has expanded to meet the growing needs of Hawaii, offering comprehensive heart care, advanced neurological services, a world-renowned cancer center, and Hawaii's only Level 1 trauma center. Caring for our community, the royal legacy continues. The Queen's Medical Center, celebrating 160 years.
Hey, mister, did you fix what flooded my house?
Sure did.
Bust the water heater?
Nailed it.
What's next?
Wrapping up the water cleanup.
You do that too?
We do both.
Fair enough.
Call Roto-Rooter for plumbing and water cleanup. Yeah, we do both.
Jardiance asks, while managing your type 2 diabetes, why think about your heart?
Because with my type 2 diabetes, I'm more likely to have a fatal heart attack or stroke.
Lower A1C helps, but type 2 diabetes still increases my risk of a fatal cardiovascular event.
Because type 2 diabetes is more than A1C.
Wow. These are great answers. And that's why there's Jardiance, the first type 2 diabetes pill that offers a life-saving cardiovascular benefit for adults who also have known heart disease.
Because Jardiance can reduce my risk of dying from a cardiovascular event.
And it lowers my A1C with diet and exercise.
And it's the #1 prescribed pill in its class.
Jardiance can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, genital yeast or urinary tract infections, and sudden kidney problems. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may be fatal. A rare but life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this bacterial infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. Do not take Jardiance if you are on dialysis or have severe kidney problems. Taking Jardiance with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
So, now what do you think?
Well, my A1C is important. There's so much more to think about.
Ask your doctor about Jardiance today.
You try mattresses when you're awake, but our exclusive Smart Match technology can determine the support you need while you're sleeping. And since we'll match any competitor's offer, you can feel confident you'll be getting a better night's sleep at a price that's just right. Be BedSmart. Shop BedMart.
You can't fake the goodness of real strawberries. The crunch of real almonds. How chocolatey chunks taste in cold milk. We keep it real. Because you can't fake delicious. Special K.
This is Good Morning Hawaii.
Welcome back. Time now is 5:26, and Quentin Tarantino takes us back to Hollywood in the late 60s with his new movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. David Daniel previews what's expected to be one of the writers and director's last films.
Being an actor?
No, I'm a stuntman.
Brad Pitt takes the falls for Leonardo DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Cliff here is meant to help carry the load.
Is that how you describe your job, Cliff?
What, carrying his load? Yeah, it's about right.
They're willing to do whatever it takes.
You could do anything you want to him. Throw him off a building, right? Light him on fire, hit him with a
Lincoln, right? Get creative. Do whatever you want. He's just happy for the opportunity.
But it's not so easy.
Line. Cut! Embarrass yourself like that in front of all those people.
Margot Robbie co-stars as Sharon Tate, the most famous victim of the Manson family murders.
I'm Sharon Tate. I'm in the movie.
You're in this?
That's me. I play Miss Carlson, the klutz.
Writer-director Quentin Tarantino says he plans to direct one last film after this before his filmmaking retirement.
It's official, old buddy. Well, it has been.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Pretty exciting, and a martial arts teacher from Wisconsin celebrating his acting debut, and it's a big one, as you saw, alongside Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio. Mike Moe plays the role of Bruce Lee in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Moe said to prepare, he immersed himself for months in everything Bruce Lee. He mastered Lee's unique style of martial arts, his natural mannerisms, and his sense of humor. Moe says playing the part is like a dream come true.
I've been preparing my whole adolescence for this. That mantle is up for the taking, and I'm ready to grab it. So, you know, I don't think there's ever going to be another Bruce Lee, but I think the world's ready for another, you know, especially Asian American action star.
Now, the film opens in theaters on Friday. That's pretty cool. Just a guy from Wisconsin running a karate place, and now he gets to be a star, so.
Dreams come true in Hollywood. All right, time now 5:28, and the top morning headlines straight ahead. And also we'll have the very latest on the Mueller testimony that's happening now in Washington, D.C. Stay with us.
It's a store-wide flooring sale at American Carpet One Floor & Home. Flooring from as low as 99 cents a square foot. The 4th of July store-wide flooring sale at American Carpet One Floor & Home. Thursday, July 4th only.
Hawaii small businesses work hard for their customers. Chocolea is a gourmet chocolate company in Manoa. They specialize in creating dark chocolate truffles and other treats. In the heart of Aiea lies Sumida Farms. This family farm has existed since 1928 through determination and hard work. Aloha Dry Cleaners and Laundry has operated for over 20 years. With 3 locations, they are proud to service Oahu. As Small Business Lender of the Year, CPB supports local businesses in all they do for our economy. It's another way Central Pacific Bank is going beyond for you.
My 2 favorite words? Help yourself. If you want it, go get it. Life is in the moments you dare to take. Unapologetic confidence starts with beautiful skin. Don't hesitate. First wax on us.
Attention, this is a legal alert for anyone who has used Roundup Weed Killer and been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. If you used Roundup Weed Killer and have been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, you may be entitled to significant compensation. A multi-million-dollar verdict was recently awarded to a man whose non-Hodgkin's lymphoma was linked to Roundup Weed Killer. If you used Roundup Weed Killer and were diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Call now.
For 50 years, Cracker Barrel has been cooking home-style favorites to perfection. We thought we'd celebrate by making our golden anniversary extra golden. Introducing new, crispy, juicy Southern Fried Chicken. Now at Cracker Barrel.
It's that time of year again. Catch Giants baseball on our sister station, KTV, all season long. For the complete game schedule, head to our website, kitv.com.
Giants baseball in Hawaii is brought to you locally by these sponsors.
At American Carpet One Floor & Home, our installers are certified and employees of our company.
We proudly stand behind everything we do. We install your flooring the right way and on time.
American Carpet One Floor & Home, your flooring experts.
Now, from KITV4 Island News, this is Good Morning Hawaii.
Right now on Good Morning Hawaii, the very latest on history on Capitol Hill as Robert Mueller addresses Congress for the first time since his investigation into President Trump.
And the latest on Mauna Kea, for the first time ever, Governor David Ige visiting the front lines with demonstrators, the message he had for Big Island Mayor Harry Kim.
Well, good morning. Welcome back to Good Morning Hawaii. The time now is 5:31.
All right, lots to get to today, but first we want to kick things off right here as we get you out the door. Tasia, how's it looking out there?
Beautiful conditions for today. No complaints here, actually. Mostly sunny skies are what we are expecting. Our trade winds to also pull on through. We still have that disturbance just west of Kauai, so we'll get some partly cloudy conditions throughout Niihau and Kauai, but then clearing up throughout the day. We also have a few high clouds, so that's going to give us a beautiful sunrise for this morning. Expect 6:01 tonight, sunset at 6:14. We are seeing some showers being pulled up from the south, so humid conditions more so for Niihau this morning, and then quickly clearing up. You can take a look at that hourly forecast. Partly cloudy conditions throughout the day, temperatures in the middle 80s. Now with our trade wind pattern, typical showers for the allows for this morning, and as you can see, mostly sunny skies across the board, and we are seeing temperature highs around 89 degrees around your midday, and winds averaging at 16 miles per hour. Breezier conditions throughout Maui County with a few isolated showers upcountry through Ulupalakua as well as Hana. But as you can see throughout the day, clear conditions and temperatures expected around 91 for your midday. So if you're heading outdoors for lunch, definitely maybe pack a sun hat. We are seeing for our Hawaii Islands some isolated showers over on the east point, but other than that, just some cloud coverage this morning that will stick around those mountain tops and then clear out throughout the day. Surf for the east 3 to 5, 2 to 4 for the south. Box jellyfish possible that will continue today for your south and east facing shores. And then for the weekend, breezy and sunny. Here's a look at your traffic. We do have a lot of congestion around Maili this morning that is just wrapping around the bend and slow going through Nanakuli. We also have a lot of road work happening right now for Waianae as well, so definitely just keep that in mind. That accident near the NEX at Bougainville Drive and Radford Drive is still there. Also for Mokuleia, we do have lane closures. That's on Farrington. That starts at Olalo Place today, 8:30 to 2:30 if you are heading up to the North Shore. And we do have a stalled vehicle within the triangle at Aiea Heights overpass causing some distraction, but no blocking of any lanes, and actually very clear either way you head into town, Honolulu Freeway or the Viaduct. Coming in from the Pali as well, some very clear conditions. Eastside Drive is nice and light and dry, less than 20 minutes into town. Over to you.
Time now, 5:34. We are following some breaking news this morning. The highly anticipated testimony of former special counsel Robert Mueller happening right now on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, we want to take a live look.
I'm not going to speak to that.
Your team interviewed Christopher Steele, is that correct?
Not going to get into that.
You can't tell this committee as to whether or not you interviewed Christopher Steele in a 22-month investigation with 18 lawyers.
As I said at the outset, that is one of the investigations that is being handled by others in the Department of Justice.
Yeah, but you're here testifying about this investigation today. And I am asking you directly, did any members of your team or did you interview Christopher Steele in the course of your investigation?
And I am not going to answer that question, sir.
You had 2 years to investigate. Not once did you consider it worthy to investigate how an unverified document that was paid for by a political opponent was used to obtain a warrant to spy on the opposition political campaign. Did you do any investigation in that whatsoever?
I do not accept your characterization of what occurred.
What would be your characterization?
I'm not going to speak any more to it.
So you can't speak any more to it, but you're not going to agree with my characterization. Is that correct?
Yes.
The FISA
and
application
former special counsel Robert Mueller telling Congress this morning his investigation did not totally exonerate President Donald Trump, this as the president claimed. Now, you could hear right there what you just heard on your screen. This is heated exchange, the testimony on Capitol Hill. Former special counsel Robert Mueller right now in those heated talks with Congress this morning.
And as you mentioned, the big question, of course, is, as you mentioned, could he be charged? Of course, that was the opinion initially, is that because he's the sitting president, the Department of Justice could not charge him. But as you mentioned, he was just asked, what if he were not president? Robert Mueller opening the door for that, saying, yes, it is possible that he could actually be charged if he were not the president. So certainly a lot of the big questions that came out of the Mueller report that a lot of Americans have still going on right there. They're 6 hours ahead there in D.C., so it's about 11:36. He's been talking all morning, so certainly we can expect even more from that, and we're going to continue to stay on top of that as it unfolds there. But a lot of questions about that investigation.
That's right. We'll be bringing you the latest live from Washington, D.C. All morning long. We'll be wrapping up his testimony, Robert Mueller's testimony on Capitol Hill this morning as he is appearing before Congress today.
All right. We'll want to switch gears to the big story back here at home. After a week of declaring an emergency proclamation on Mauna Kea, Governor David Ige finally setting foot on Mauna Kea.
Now, for the first time ever, Governor David Ige referred to demonstrators as protectors of the mountain rather than protesters. And as KITV4's Eliza Larson reports, Ige also made Mayor Harry Kim the point man to lead the state and the county.
Governor David Ige hadn't been to the base of Mauna Kea to visit with the dozens of people who call themselves the protectors until just after 5:30 p.m. Governor Ige, as well as Mayor Harry Kim from Hawaii County, arrived on the scene and were greeted with aloha.
Thank you for welcoming me here.
His visit was short. He talked with some of the kupuna, met with some of the leaders, and then was entertained with hula during protocol hours, and then had to leave.
I'm really happy that he did come, and he came right at the absolutely most appropriate moment.
But he did say a few words about why he came up here.
Thought it would be good to be here and visit and be able to talk to people.
Governor Ige essentially handed over responsibility to Hawaii County Mayor Harry Kim. Kim will now have to coordinate both the county and state efforts to continue the TMT project.
There are many activities that are required to be here, and it does require someone to be on island.
I told him yes, I will do the best I can.
In a way, I feel comfortable because we know him and he knows us.
How that will pan out, we'll have to wait and see. Reporting from Mauna Kea, Eliza Larson, KITV4 Island News.
Yeah, that's a big question. Thanks, Eliza. And meanwhile, a circuit court judge in Hilo denied a request for a temporary restraining order to stop construction of the 30-meter telescope. Now, many of those opponents of the telescope that you saw packed the courtroom yesterday morning. Based on a state plan approved in 1977, they argued that TMT required a bond with the Board of Natural Resources equal to the total cost to build. Now, TMT stated there's limited time during the year for construction before severe cold weather hits in the winter. It also said that it's taking a financial hit because of all the protests, but that Mauna Kea still remains their site of choice.
Kumuhula Paul Neves was granted a temporary stay or suspension of the governor's emergency proclamation, but it only applies to him. Neves is allowed up to the summit of Mauna Kea for cultural and religious practices, but there are restrictions. He's only allowed to travel during daylight and cannot block a convoy driving up Mauna Kea Access Road.
And there were no arrests on Mauna Kea on Tuesday, but the state says it arrested 38 people last week. Of course, we remember a lot of them kupuna, not 34 as first reported. Now, it released a list of those names, such as cultural expert Pualani Kanahele and longtime activist Walter Riddy. For the full list of names, you can head to our website at KITV.com.
And the Department of Land and Natural Resources reports there's still about 1,000 people on the mountain. Paramedics were called to Pu'uhonua o Pu'uhuluhulu, or the Safe Zone base camp on Monday night to treat a 21-year-old man for altitude sickness. And he was checked out and left the scene on his own.
And for the latest on the tension over TMT, of course, stay with us on air and online. And if you want to do some background research, there's also a special section dedicated to all of our Mauna Kea coverage. That's on our website as well, KITV.com. All right, switching gears now. If you're maybe heading to the beach, you might want to watch out for box jellyfish. I was stung when I was a kid. It's not fun.
It doesn't sound like it. And KITV4's Mackenzie Stasko live in Waikiki this morning with more on where you might see them and for how long. Good morning, Mackenzie.
Lindsay, Tom, good morning. Well, there's a good chance that you may see box jellyfish over the next 3 days. They typically appear here in Hawaii 8 to 10 days after the full moon. And as Tasia mentioned, we could see box jellyfish on all shores, but most likely here on the south shores in Waikiki and also on the east-facing shores as well. Now, again, box jellyfish are expected over the next 3 days. If you've never seen what one looks like, this is what it is. This is a video from over Memorial Day weekend. That's one of the last few influxes that we've seen here in Waikiki. Lifeguards counted about 5,000 that washed up on shore and said that about 1,000 people got stung. People up on the North Shore were stung as well. As Tom mentioned, he's been stung. I've never been stung before, but people I've spoken to compare it to several bee stings. And we do want to mention that if you are out in the waters and you do get stung, make sure you head to one of the lifeguard towers. And experts say the best way to treat a sting is to put a hot cloth on it. For now, we'll send it back to you inside.
Well, an environmental research group released a report that found 90 Hawaii beaches were potentially unsafe for swimming at some point last year. Now, Environment America surveyed thousands of beaches across the U.S. for water pollution, and the dirtiest water in Hawaii at Ke'ehi Lagoon, Punalu'u Beach Park, and Kapoho Point near the Marine Corps base in Kaneohe. Now, the study found most pollution came from sewage overflow, failing septic systems, and livestock manure.
Well, tensions flared at a Honolulu City Council committee meeting yesterday as council members questioned why the city was so adamant about building a playground at Ala Moana Regional Park. After hearing testimony, the committee voted to pass a resolution calling for a third environmental impact statement. The council believes that the previous assessments that were done were flawed and that they didn't take into account rising sea levels or the impact of taking away green space in order to build that playground. But the city's director of Department of Design and Construction says he disagrees.
The amount of information we've gathered on this project, or these sets of projects, this master plan, has been way more than we normally would. So I don't see where going out with a third draft EIS is going to help us get any more information that we don't already have.
Now, that resolution will be heard by the full council at their August 7th meeting. That's going to be at Kapolei Hale.
Now, the city and county of Honolulu plans to spend $1 million to figure out long-term repairs for Coco Crater Stairs. According to our partners at Civil Beat, $100,000 will go toward immediate fixes. And the popular hiking path made up of stairs, that's made up of railroad ties, many of which are missing. And the trail also eroded. Some items include creating more parking for hikers and building bulb outs for people to stop along the hike. All right, time now is 5:44, and still to come, Facebook is to shell out billions of dollars.
Yeah, why? They'll have to pay a record-breaking $5 billion fine for violating your user privacy.
Wednesday up to 92 degrees, triple digits across the state. We'll have your weather and traffic coming up after this.
Hawaii's Remarkable Women is brought to you by the Hawaiian Airlines Bank of Hawaii World Elite MasterCard.
Right now, earn 60,000 bonus miles after qualifying purchases when you apply and are approved for the Hawaiian Airlines Bank of Hawaii World Elite MasterCard. Plus, you earn miles on everyday purchases. Get closer to the travels and moments you'll remember forever with this special offer. Need another reason? Enjoy an introductory no annual fee. To apply, visit hawaiianairlines.com.
It's the Miller Lite Tastes All Right Pauhana Series.
Heat up your next Pauhana with Foodland. Nothing makes Pauhana at home better than Ono Food and Ohana. And Foodland has everything you'll need. Fresh poke, fried chicken, premium choice meats, and so much more. Stop by any one of their 33 locations statewide. And don't forget the Miller Lite. Pauhana, taken to a whole new level with Foodland.
Check it out on kitv.com/Pauhana.
This week, save big on what your child needs for the new school year. Staples, back to school and beyond.
St. Francis Healthcare System is creating something new and exciting. The St. Francis Kupuna Village in Liliha. The former hospital campus is being transformed into a health and wellness community for seniors and their caregivers, featuring a skilled nursing facility and an array of physicians in different specialties, with future plans for assisted living and independent living and a senior community center. Call today for more information. St. Francis Healthcare System, creating healthy communities for Hawaii's families.
From the smallest cottage to the largest house on the block, Wisteria Lane has something for everyone. Transform your home with one of our wide selection of flooring, a luxurious look for the everyday homeowner, and with an unbeatable pricing. Visit Wisteria Lane today.
The signs are everywhere. Charles in Waipahu saved over $390. Lucette in Honolulu saved over $450. Call 92-DIETRICH and save.
KITV4 Island News, sponsored by Dietrich Insurance.
Time now 5:47, and we're taking a look at severe weather across the states. The system that brought cooler air to the Midwest and Northeast continues to push south and bring storms to the Gulf Coast. So we are continuing to track a disturbance in the Gulf Coast, also that tropical depression that is continuing in the eastern Pacific. Now take a look at your forecast high temperatures for today. Las Vegas 102, Phoenix at 107. So thankfully here in Hawaii, we're not seeing temperatures that high and actually feeling a lot better with our winds. So again, back to the eastern Pacific, we're still within hurricane season. The tropical depression continues to move up toward the northwest at 7 miles per hour, and another disturbance just south of that. So we'll continue to track that, which is over warmer waters. That tropical depression will continue to fall apart as it does run into wind shear as well as cooler sea surface temperatures. Now closer into home, as you can see, we've just got some cloud coverage, especially for our mountain areas. That's typical with our trade wind pattern today, which is what we are getting. Winds 15 to 25 miles per hour. Showers that will continue for the Ko'olaus. Your forecast highs today up to 92 for Kahului and 90 in Honolulu. So right behind that, winds are going to help cut through the heat. It would also affect our surf for the east. We will have choppy conditions continue for today, 3 to 5, south 2 to 4. Small craft advisory from Maui throughout Hawaii Island. And again, check with your lifeguards before jumping in. Box jellyfish for your south and east facing shores. Higher chances today through Friday. Now your Wednesday forecast, again, your daytime highs up to 92. Sunny conditions, especially in the afternoon for the leeward side. Kauai will continue to have partly cloudy conditions this morning, and over the weekend, breezy and sunny. Here's a look at your traffic. We do have a stalled vehicle. This is at the Waipahu exit, so just a heads up, H1 eastbound direction. Other than that, your typical slowdowns as you are making your way into town today throughout Waikele H1, H2 merge. That stalled vehicle that was pulled within the corner of Aiea Heights overpass has been cleared, but now right behind that, before Aiea Heights overpass, this is in the eastbound direction, but we are on looking that traffic coming in from the west. We do have an incident, multiple vehicles involved. As you can see, that center lane is being blocked as well as the two far right lanes. So pretty slow going traffic here that is backed up to the H1, H2 merge. So utilize the zipper lane. Also keep an eye out for that alternate route. We do have great conditions through Kamehameha Highway. Again, we've got a multiple vehicle accident on the H1 eastbound direction right before Aiea Heights overpass. That's a look at your weather and traffic. Over to you.
Tasia, thank you. Time now 5:50. Breaking news this morning. We are learning Facebook will have to pay a record-breaking $5 billion fine for violating user privacy.
Now, that amount is about a month's worth of the tech giant's revenue. The Federal Trade Commission announced the settlement today. The Washington Post reporting the FTC originally planned to fine Facebook tens of billions of dollars and hold CEO founder Mark Zuckerberg accountable. Well, after years of privacy concerns, Facebook has agreed to the deal of that lesser amount. 87 million users' personal data was exposed to political analysis firm Cambridge Analytica. The FTC says Facebook also broke the law by taking that data and using it for targeted ads to users.
Well, it's the biggest ever civil penalty fine ever levied by the FTC, and Zuckerberg also agreed to make major changes to the social network as well.
A glitch in Facebook's messaging app for kids allowed thousands of users to enter group chats with strangers. The app is supposed to only allow kids between 6 and 12 years old to chat with people pre-approved by their parents. Facebook says it has since fixed the technical error and has not received any reports of suspicious activity.
Well, some people who bought plus-size clothing from Forever 21 say they felt body shamed by free diet bars included with their order. Now, several shoppers took to social media to complain about Atkins diet bars that came in their packages. And the company says it sometimes includes free samples with online orders. And in this case, the bars were included across all categories and sizes. Forever 21 apologized and called it an oversight, adding that the samples have been removed.
All right, coffee lovers, well, Starbucks is letting more people stay home and still get their fix. They're expanding a partnership with Uber Eats for deliveries. Starbucks is expecting it to go nationwide by early next year. Right now, it's available in about a dozen mainland cities. So if you're watching this and you want to give us a delivery, you know where to find us, right?
That's exactly right. We'll take it right here. All right, well, still to come on Good Morning Hawaii, we have much more to get to, including a live look from Washington, D.C. We're following the very latest on Robert Mueller's testimony. Good Morning Hawaii will be right back. Stay with us.
Sponsored by Levitt, Yamane & Soldner, Hawaii's personal injury law firm.
Albert and Dorothy Kita had been together since the 70s.
They were inseparable. They did everything together.
All of that changed when Laura Ann was told her father had been killed in a head-on collision.
When we got there at the hospital, my mom's best friend, she said, and you know that mom didn't make it either.
We have to be strong for her at all times because she had a hard time with everything.
Laura Ann called Levitt, Yamane & Soldner.
Their staff is fabulous. Mr. Soldner, Nicole, they have been so great.
When someone passes away as a result of a tragic collision, most people don't think about what happens to the families of loved ones when they pass away. They have a right to full, fair compensation for that too.
If you need help, call Levitt, Yamane & Soldner.
I felt in my heart that they could do my parents right and me right.
April 18th is National Piñata Day, but you don't need to hit a papier-mâché unicorn to get stuff you want. Just become an AARP member. Get health tips, learn about the latest tech, have nights out at local restaurants, and more. Get your AARP membership today.
Pacific Honda is your state-of-the-art dealership right on the edge of downtown. With a fully covered air-conditioned showroom, Pacific Honda offers the best prices, best service, and the best selection in new Hondas right now. Stop by and celebrate our 50th anniversary with us with a great deal on a new Honda. Take advantage of our low leasing and financing deals. Plus, come down for a test drive and a chance to win a trip for two to Las Vegas, courtesy of Vacations Hawaii. Pacific Honda, home of the happy Honda lovers.
Mom's finally finding her sea legs, and she's about 10 minutes from a hotel by Wyndham. He's having the best day ever, and he's about 10 minutes from a Wyndham. With over 6,000 hotels across the country, a great hotel by Wyndham is closer than you think. Visit WyndhamHotels.com.
Organize the office and go from cluttered to coordinated. How about a chair? Come take a few for a test drive. Find that perfect pen and make writing fun again. Crayons, paper, and paint for the kids. And the kids at heart. Backpacks from $7.95. Composition books and Crayola crayons, only 49 cents. Fisher Hawaii, bringing you more.
This is Good Morning Hawaii.
Welcome back to Good Morning Hawaii. Time now is 5:55.
Yeah, we want to get back outside with weather and traffic as you're waking up this morning. Tasia, how's it looking out there?
Not so good coming in from the west side, H1 eastbound. We do have multiple vehicles involved in this crash. This is in the eastbound direction, looking back right before Aiea Heights overpass after Ka'anohi. As you can see, HPD on scene. Most of the vehicles pulled over to the shoulder, so now slowly those lanes are gaining some traction and we are seeing some traffic being let through. Now that zipper lane and Kamehameha Highway are your best alternates at the moment. We are seeing this traffic backed up. As you can see, pretty much gridlock past Ka'anohi, past Ka'ahumanu, past the Waimalu exit, and right to the H1, H2 merge. So definitely a slow commute if you're already on the road. If not, definitely check that KITV4 app. You can utilize that alternate as well on Kamehameha Highway. Drive times from the west side, 71 minutes at the moment. Now here's a look at your weather. We do have those winds coming in from the east, about 10 to 20 miles per hour, possible up to 25. That system toward the west of the state will continue to lift off toward the northwest, and we'll have sunny, breezy conditions for a long stretch of time starting today. The winds are affecting our surf for the east, choppy 3 to 5, 2 to 4 for the south. Check with your lifeguards first. Box jellyfish influx from today through Saturday. The higher probability or higher chances more so today through Friday. We do have that small craft advisory for Maui and Hawaii Island, especially with winds up to 25 knots. And then another south-southeasterly swell arriving by your Friday, high tide around 11 o'clock today. Your daytime highs up to 92. A sunny afternoon, especially for leeward side. Just starting off with a pretty cloudy morning. Breezier conditions later tonight. Tonight's lows up to 78. It will take a while for temperatures to dip down. And if you are planning for the weekend already, breezy and sunny. Temperatures will stick around in the 90s, cooling off just a bit for your next work week. But overall, some pretty great Hawaii weather for the next few days. That's a look at your weather and traffic. Over to you.
Good. Thanks, Tasia. Well, production set to begin